Everybody,
I am recording.
Everybody recording. Recorded on the weekend.
Rock your body.
Recorded.
That could have been. Well, okay, what song were you singing, Chris? What song were you alluding to?
I'm more about remixing all the time. I don't remember anymore.
All right, well, thank you. Welcome to Rhythm and Pixels, a video game music podcast. This is episode 38-8. We're your hosts. My name is Rob Nichols.
You got a piece of my heart. That's
Pernell. Every week we listen to great video game music, and every month we bring it to you here on this podcast. Thanks for choosing us on your weekly drive to work or to your taking your kids to school. I don't know what you're doing, but thanks for listening to our show.
Your quiche bake.
Joining us this week, you heard him last week. You'll hear him again this week. We have Chris from Gameable Audio. Thank you so much, Chris.
Yay! It's nice to be here, even though it's late.
It's late, very late for you. I really appreciate it. We have guests
The trade-off
sometimes.
is they get those cool Swedish candies.
It's so crazy.
No complaints here.
We have guests on the show from America, from the other side of the coast, and it's earlier for them. And then you come on, and I'm so sorry. Thank you. Thank you very much for staying up.
There's no worries. I'm happy to do it now that I have the space and time to do it as well.
Well, thank you. Now that this is a new episode, can you tell our listeners again all about Gameable Audio?
All about Gameable Audio. Gameable Audio is a VGM podcast as well, much like this one. But the unique selling point that I'm selling people is actually making interviews with actual composers and artists who make video game music or subgenres of it. That's the really short one. So if people missed the last episode, with the background and everything,
if you want to hear more about that, go to the last episode, or better yet, turn this off and just go download an episode of Gameable Audio.
Hey,
what?
please listen to the entirety of the episode, and then go to Gameable Audio and listen to his entire catalog.
We appreciate you listening to our show. We don't have any sponsors. This is a Patreon supported show.
Tang.
I used to allow sponsors from our podcast host, and I'll be honest, they weren't great. They weren't bad. They weren't bad sponsors. They were automated.
Didn't we have one about like hair growth for men?
There was one hair growth for men. There was a manscaping, male razors,
a lot
genital
of people did
shavers.
that one.
Yeah, and I'm like, just buy whatever razor you want. You don't have to buy gendered razors.
My thing about that is that I get the product conceptually, though it's not for me. With that said, the product kind of needs to fit into what you're actually doing. I can't feel. It felt weird to be like, hey.
Okay, from their perspective, it does because the demographics are the same.
Oh, the demographic I get. I'm saying it's hard to go. So, man, that was a really great remix from Yoshi's Island, was it? Yeah. So let's talk about shaving your genitals. It doesn't compute. It doesn't work.
No. So
I mean, Yoshi, does Yoshi have genitals, or are they shaved them off?
Maybe on the biology episode of Rhythm and Pixels.
Is this how we're starting?
I don't know.
Apparently so.
It's like, you asked me to record this late at night. This is what's happening.
So you're saying this is my fault?
No, definitely not.
Yeah, we're our own powder keg.
It stays firmly in Pernell's fault.
I'll own that for fun.
Because Pernell was late, is that it?
Yeah. Hey, I'll take the blame for fun.
No,
just say it.
That was planned. He told me well in advance that he had to go see his aunt and he was going to come afterwards. And I said, please take care of your family and then come to us first. And then we will talk about video game genitals for some reason. Or dinosaur genitals.
Manscaped's fault. That's why they're not our sponsor.
Yeah.
So traditionally on Rhythm and Pixels, we play classic and original video game music. We listen to it, discuss it, and then at the end of the show, we have what we call the bonus round, where we play covers and remixes based on the episode's theme. And we thought, you know what? Let's have a full episode. Chris thought, let's have a full episode of remixes and covers and just focus on that. And I think that's awesome because there's so much good stuff out there. Why not have a whole episode just about that? And we can talk about the games. We can talk about why we like the remixes, where we found the remixes. I discovered a lot of artists through remixing. video game remixes. Some artists I discovered through video game remixes who then went off to do more original music and tried to distance themselves
And
from
others
it, which is
even went a little
interesting.
bit further and started producing music for Manscaped.
Yeah, exactly. They decided to make, this is some music for male razors. So there was Maxo, who's actually a game composer now. There was Absurdist. Mega Ran went off to do more original music, but then went back to it. But I think he does a little bit of both.
Yeah, I can tell you
Did
that.
he ever stop? Is my first question, because it felt like he kept going.
No, he's still
did.
He's still going. He's really into pro wrestling, and somehow he's affiliated with a lot of like American.
Oh, the NES game is great. I remember that.
Ameri-
The Amazon.
No, I don't know. I don't know anything about the world of professional wrestling, so every time I see stuff about that, I'm like, that's all right.
He needs to make a remix of pro wrestling and sing about it.
Is there music in pro wrestling?
Yeah, just that do 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 do. He could totally do a whole rap song, and the chorus could be that beat, and him talking over it. I'm the rap master talking about
As long as it's not
wrestling.
mumble rap, I'm happy.
Here to that.
No, he's very he articulates every word. So I don't know. I feel like lyricism to him is more important. Mumble rap's got its place, though. You know,
It does.
sometimes it's about the rhythm.
just not in my headphones.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with.
All music
Pernell on
has a
this one.
place. Doesn't mean I need to be listening to it.
just not for me. It's like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I not that I can name any mumble rappers.
That's
That's speed rapping. That's a little different. Yeah. Like
Speedrun rapping.
Okay, Busta Rhymes, I love. Can I think of any of his actual lyrics because he raps so fast? Not so much.
I'll admit that Chris made a joke there, but that would be something I'd be interested in seeing.
What's up?
Speed running music. As in
speedrunning music.
As in, you take songs and people compete to see how fast they can sing the song and speed the music up to accommodate their speaking it.
Okay, have you guys heard of the Excel Olympics? So Microsoft Excel, like Olympics.
I've heard about it.
That sounds impressive to me.
So apparently, I fell down this rabbit hole. It all started in the finance world because
Diggity shit.
everything runs off of Excel, and then they started creating challenges of how fast you could do these things. Tangentially, very tangentially, people will pick a popular song and speed run how fast they can make it on their computer,
That sounds
and
fun.
like recreate it. Like I think it was like Soldier Boy and like Darude, Sandstorm, like that kind of stuff.
That could be
insane.
pretty interesting to see. And then you have to compare to see, did you miss anything? Did you screw up a
Or
rhythmic
just like
beat?
how fast can you just make it?
Because you can't.
Yeah.
It's not just rig. You have to figure out how authentic is it. How close is it to the original?
Yeah.
If you made a mistake, a trained ear will hear it. And
I'm
you're
going to tell
fired.
you, I'm sure it's faster than AI because these guys are quick.
And they require a lot less water.
Yeah, a lot. Well, I mean, I don't know. We're mostly water.
Require a lot less water.
We'll dehydrate ourselves if that'll make you happy.
A lot less water.
All right, so let's get into it. We don't have a theme for games or musical style or anything like that. We're just going straight remixes, sharing what we love. So we're going to start with our guest, Chris. Do you have I think you have the doc in front of you. You want to pick your first song?
Yeah, I will definitely
introduce your first song. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, so the first track I've selected is from the Legend of Zelda series, A Link to the Past. And the track name is A Link to the Future. And the remix is made by DDR Kirby, also known as Timothy Wong.
Now, DDR Kirby, I have adored this guy's music for a long time. Is he still producing at all? Do you know?
Yes, he does.
Because he does also do game production and some other things. Like, he did a lot of like tangential art projects and things like that. And I always thought like, keep making music. I love it so much.
Yeah, definitely. The tracks that I basically chosen for this week is basically just paying an homage to people that I love and adore.
Oh, that's awesome.
Or the community.
All right,
we'll most likely get into it as well.
All right, so music from Legend of Zelda by DDR Kirby. Also, I love the name DDR and Kirby. Two things I also love.
When did you ever play Kirby?
When did you ever play DDR?
There was that one time in band camp.
All right, man. You keep talking about band camp. What instrument did you play?
The
They're taking a long time to answer that.
Triangle.
Triangle. Okay,
Triangle.
the Triforce. The Triforce.
I did.
We're back. That was The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, A Link to the Future from DDR Kirby. Chris brought that to us. And we were just the whole time chatting about how much we love the sound and how it sounds like Gradius.
He was recommending DDR Kirby further to me because my first thought was like, this sounds like it could have been on a PC-98.
Yeah, it's got that kind of synthy sound to it, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
And I want more.
So DDR Kirby was basically one of those composers that I've been following for a really, really long time. It's like when I started getting into especially Mega Man music and so on, DDR Kirby was one of those names that really popped up early for me as I was diving deeper into the sea of remixes. And this remix specifically comes from Overclocked remix, so OC Remix community. And basically, OC Remix has been playing such a huge part for the remix community overall, and have even released like official albums, as we were talking in the previous episode, which is just amazing. So when I thought like, hey, we're doing a remix, I basically want to pay it forward for more people to actually dive into OC Remix, because all the tracks there are for free. And they're really promoting new tracks and so on, so people can just listen in and listen through.
Heck, I go one step further. I'm pretty sure from recollection, OC Remix is pretty much why we even have access to VGM covers like we do. Because there was a period where you couldn't find that stuff anywhere. Yeah, and YouTube wasn't as big as it's gotten now.
Yeah, OC Remix. There for OC Remix is the OG. OC is the OG of the whole scene. I mean, you can go out there and just download a lot of the stuff for free. They have they spent, there's just a lot of, for something that is released for free, you can tell the passion is there because they put a lot of work into the production of the release, the artwork, the music, almost everything out there has that, and all of it ties back to the original music as well, where they have information from the original game, the original composers, which you don't always see on YouTube. It's like, hey, I made this thing from this thing that I like.
Yeah,
and there's really not that there's no credit to the original, but there's no context to the original music.
Don't forget to click like and subscribe.
But you can click like and subscribe, and make sure not to use an ad blocker to watch the pre-rolled commercial for Mint Mobile, sponsored by Ryan Reynolds. Pernell, if I watch one more of these ads, I'm going to shoot myself.
I see his ads are probably some of the few. I'm like, okay, I'll laugh at that for a couple of minutes.
He's not too bad. I mean, I'm just joking, but he is everywhere. All right, so when Chris thought of bringing this topic to our show, I thought that's perfect because I wanted to do an entire episode related to the Capcom Fighting Collection 2 that was just released. And all I wanted to do is play music from the collection, because in the collection are 4 or 5 games from my young adulthood that were very important to me. And every single one of those games has full arranged soundtracks, which makes me incredibly happy. So that's all I'm going to pick from for now.
Intriguing. Yeah, okay.
All right, we're going to listen to music from, this is from Capcom vs. SNK 2, which coincidentally, my game I played most was the first one, but the second one is a fantastic game, has a great competitive scene. This is Fight with the Wind, the 2005 version. Originally composed by Satoshi Ise and arranged for the game by Kensuke Inage. all right, we're back. You're listening to Fight with the Wind from Capcom versus SNK2. Then the Capcom Fighting Collection 2, composed by Satoshi Ise, arranged by Kensuke Inage. And that's what's cool. A lot of these tracks, like they have like a jazzy background. Like the original music was kind of more jazzy, a little slower. And then on the soundtrack, they've sped things up or they've made it a little bit more harder, like this one. But there still is that kind of jazzy undertone behind the whole thing.
But I'm guessing with the rearrangement, you can make a little bit more depth now as well.
That's true.
Considering like space on the disc and so on.
Yes.
Previously.
Yeah, absolutely. And this was this was arcade and then Dreamcast. I think there was a PlayStation 2 release. I'm not entirely sure, but in the Capcom Fighting Collection 2 is other games like Project Justice, the sequel to Rival Schools.
Such a good game.
And so there's more than just electronic. There's also like rock music and some other stuff going on there too, which is super, super exciting. So also, this game is really important to the podcast. Pernell, do you know why?
Specifically this song?
This game.
Well, the game.
How important this game is to this podcast from day one. How important this is.
I got
bonded over it.
I got nothing.
It is sampled on the theme song.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The Ready is from Capcom SNK 2. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I knew it was from a fighting game.
The select sounds, all of that is. I sampled it from my Dreamcast when we lived in the condo downtown.
Wow.
I literally just took the output from the Dreamcast, stuck it into my computer, and just played it.
Those were the days back when you could do that. I've done that with the Steam Deck before a couple of times. Like, I want to hear this music, but no one's put it up on the internet yet.
Yeah, everything's digital now, right? Yeah. Back in the day, the game music preservation was literally, can I plug the output into my stereo recorder and turn off the sound effects somehow, or just start the level but not do anything, and just
go to the sound test.
If there was
a tape player up to your TV
sound test,
and hope for the
exactly.
best.
Yeah. And that's really what kicked it off for me. I had a cassette recording of the Skate or Die 2.
Die. Yeah,
music. Yeah, I was obsessed with that song. I thought like that one and Solstice. But definitely Skate or Die 2. I was like, this is
die.
This is the coolest sound ever coming out of the Nintendo. Like what even happens? All right, Pernell, what did you bring for us?
So I think it's pretty interesting that Chris goes, I want to do an episode on all covers, and then we all, in some way, had our own subtopic.
Yeah,
that topic.
That's absolutely true.
Chris was wanting to emphasize specific artists that he wanted to plug. So in that sense, we just have to come up with a name for that. But that's his theme. Your theme is everything from the Fighting Collection.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
And in my case, it's the honor of the Switch going down for the Switch 2 to take its place, because this month was the end of the Switch. Nintendo Switch, for those who are like, what? Light Switch?
I've seen a lot of people post like about their new Switch, like how they're excited about it, and it looks exactly the same.
Because it is.
Yeah.
Because it is.
Like they're
Like I said, it's
new
probably
box.
it's probably old man Pernell talking. Because this stuff doesn't really... The Steam Deck was the last thing that made me go, oh, crap, this is a game changer. But for the most part, it just feels like a more powerful Switch, which I'm not complaining about, but I'm also not going to go bonkers about it.
Sure,
I'm just going to have it and then go play the Steam Deck. So that's what I've been doing. But I figured this will be a good opportunity to showcase games I've played on the Switch, because for those who don't know, the Switch up until I got the Steam Deck was pretty much my indie game station.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
So...
yeah.
I wanted to hey, what a nice little send-off to the Switch. So my first track is going to come from a game that I used to play frequently on the Switch called Blazing Chrome. This title track is called Riders, and it was covered by Schneider Souza. welcome back. You just listened to the metal cover of the track Riders from the game Blazing Chrome, covered by Schneider Sosa.
Blazing Chrome.
Blazing Chrome.
Dominic Nimmark. Original. Yes. Yeah, I remember that one. I got that right away.
No, he did not, folks. Behind the veil, he did not. So
He's stealing the thunder.
I will say, though, that I'm glad that you did ask about that, because partly why I picked this track was because I was actually trying to pick another track from a game that Dominic Nimmark composed from a game called Bot Vice.
Bot Vice is great.
That game is so far under the no one's ever played it radar.
The music, though.
Yeah, the music is a freaking bop. In fact, that's also largely why I wanted to pick from any of these, because the Switch is how I learned about Dominic Nimmark, because there used to be a company called DYA Games that he composed multiple games for. And they were all like kind of low key, like they weren't getting a lot of publicity or publications or whatever. And the Nintendo Switch eShop, well, it kind of still is garbage, but it was definitely garbage back then. So you essentially just went on there weekly to go, what are the new games that have come out this week? And one day I happened to look, and this weird game called Bot Vice was there. The graphical style looked fantastic, and it still does, by the way. I bought it by visuals alone. Didn't even know what the game was like. Just pictures and images, and the OST blew me away. That was more of a selling point after the fact than the graphics, which are already good. So I immediately went to see how many games DYA Games produced and bought every last one of them that moment. I bought all their games in one sitting.
Sweet.
So I became a Dominic Nimmark fan from that point on. I owe that to my access to playing games on the eShop on the Switch, because it felt like 360 2.0 as far as access to indie games went.
Yeah.
So
The 360 was definitely a huge introduction of like new indie games for a lot of people. Dominic Nimmark I discovered because he did a bunch of like Eurobeat game remixes that were like, I remember listening to him.
He had a series.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like, these are way too good to just be one-off remixes. Like, how good is this guy where he's like, I'll just do this remix of like Ken's theme from Street Fighter, but like in this Eurobeat style.
Eurobeat style, yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
It is so amazing. It takes so many different ones as well, like Calm tries Delfino Plaza, if I remember correctly, from Mario Sunshine. And it's everything is so good. Everything is a freaking victory when you're listening to it.
Yes,
I love that.
I've never heard a bad thing from him.
Yeah, I turn it on and I go, oh, wait a minute. I have to stop everything I'm doing and listen to this right now. Yeah, I love it. I love it too much.
I mean, if you want to go on a small little tangent, I can try and make it quick. Do you want to hear the first time I met him?
I mean, you're the one who's got the sun coming up behind them. You be the judge of that.
No, this is quite hilarious, because the first time I ever heard Dominic Nimmark's music was actually from a project. I don't remember the guys behind the project itself, but the project is called Mega Man X Corrupt.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that's the first time I ever listened to it. I listened to the music and everything, and I just loved it. And I noticed his name, Dominic Nimmark, and I didn't put too much attention to it per se. And as you might know today, Dominic is a Swede. I did not know this. So the thing is, I was going down to Malmö, down in the southern part of Sweden, for an event. Like one of those events where you can buy and sell games and just talk nerdy with people.
My kind of event.
Exactly, the best kind of events. But afterwards, they had an after party. And the DJ there was playing a lot of video game music and so on. And I ended up vibing quite hard with that person. And we were just talking around, and we got into the love for Mega Man music. And I was like, oh, I actually started listening to all this music for a game that they're working on, a fan-made game called Mega Man X Corruption. And I just loved the music. And it was like, I'm the one who made it.
That's pretty awesome.
So I was vibing really hard with Dominic Ninmark, who was DJing the after party that I was missing.
You got to admit though, that's like the one way to like legitimately do like that fandom, that fanning out thing without feeling weird about it, because like he didn't know you didn't know who he was.
Know. That's so funny.
Exactly.
He probably was like he's gonna remember that conversation forever.
Yeah,
he's like
definitely.
I was working on this little fan game, and he knew me because of this little fan game.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it was so hilarious that we were still talking, and I was like recommending him to himself.
That's incredible.
And the reason why I said it, I said I was glad you brought it, because the one last thing I was going to say about Dominic and Mark is that I feel like one of the saddest things about that game's production just being in eternal limbo is the fact that soundtrack isn't coming with it.
Oh man. These projects that don't get completed, like you look at it like, oh, I would love to play that, but then like some of the best parts of these games that don't get released, they'll never see the light of day. The amazing artwork or the amazing game music. It's a shame.
But they are actually releasing more and more videos about the framework and everything for Mega Man X Corruption. So they're actually getting more menus and so on into the game.
God, that means
it's starting to look more complete, at least.
That means it's not vaporware yet? That's good to hear.
No. It's still in production. It's just very slow.
That's good to know. All right. So we're back, Chris. We're back around to you for your next track.
Oh, yeah. Roundabout. And the next track that I brought up is like a multi-culty kind of thing, as we have multiple kind of artists who worked on this one for the production. And it is the man PF, Nico Vargas, Shinobi Syntax, and Zach Chapman. And the game that this track is from is Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and the track name is With a Little Help from My Friends, which is something we all know when it comes to the Super Smash Bros. Series, that you have a lot of friends or enemies. I don't know. Frenemies, maybe?
You lose a lot of friends playing that game. Or
what you do? You know what you don't lose friends with? Salad.
Salad, yeah.
Be wasting with snakes past the controller. I see him dashing while riding the wave. We off the hook, but stay connected like links in a chain. I'ma just blast him away like I've been charging my A. You bringing heat while I'm ready with Terry. Grabbing machete, we setting sheep in wolf's clothing to cemeteries. Meet up with Palutena and tell her you met me. Should've retired already like I was battling Reggie. Yeah. Ready, go! We always got something left. You double in your team and it'll lead to a sudden death. My final fantasy is I'm set to rock. My team roster longer than the sword on Sephiroth. Cause whenever I'm struggling, my homies stay up with me. I get to the stage when knocked down, my team's my recovery. Ain't no L's in our name, we are the master and craze. We meeting up, then it's we are the mains, yeah.
Listen, my friend.
Struggling, my homies stay up with me, they stay up with me.
Listen, my friend.
Get to the stage when knocked down, my team's my recovery.
Hear the sounds that light our passions of flame. Bring to life some memories of persistence. Linked together by the feelings we share. Reaching farther with a little help from my friends.
While battling all of my demons, they got my back when I need it. I couldn't rap like a phoenix if I was back on the bleachers. I send it straight to the ether, to all the homies I needed. I'm really hoping you see this, you made and gave me a reason. Through trials and tribulations, with miles I walk the pavement. I'm finally out the matrix, we're final like destination. When I'm stuck in a pit of despair, searching for answers, I always find myself hoping you're there. Yeah.
Listen, my friend.
Finally out the matrix, we're final like destination.
Listen, my friend.
I always find myself hoping you're there, hoping you're there.
Hear the sounds that light up passions of flame. Bring to life the memories of precious days. Cling together by the feelings we share. Soaring higher with a little help from my friends by my side. They are all here with me. Some of them heroes to me. Some of them once my enemies. Thank you, my friend.
All of us find our destinies. Thank you for all the memories.
Thank you, my friend.
I'm not alone, cause everyone's here, everyone's here.
Hear the sounds that light up passions of flame. Bring to life the memories of precious days. Cling together by the feelings we share. Shining brighter with the help of my dearest friend. Shining brighter with the help of my dearest friend.
Oh my God, Chris.
You're welcome.
You
You're
know-
welcome.
you know the show. You know me.
Yes, you're doing a more.
This is my stuff, man.
You got him talking like Morty over here. Hey, you know, Chris.
Okay, what's funny is I had this cold for like 2 weeks. I sounded like Nick Offerman. My voice was so low and gravelly from coughing. And now, like every time I talk, I'm like, we're gonna go in my garage, and I'm gonna
retool.
I can't do it now that I'm trying. But anyway, this is from Super Smash Brothers Brawl. Little help with my friends. We had the Man PF, Nico, Vargas, Shinobi Syntax, and Zach Chapman. That was unexpected,
Yeah.
and then awesome.
The thing is, when
absolutely
it
loved
comes to the community of OC Remix, I love and adore it, as I said before. But considering this one, it actually has a little bit more of a special place. And first of all, it is one of those tracks that actually got a lot of like views on it and downloads, etc. on it. We have a multi team working on this as well. Like the Man PF worked on arrangement and lyrics, but also a little bit with vocals with intro pre-chorus. Shinobi Syntax worked on mix and lyrics, the rap verse, and did the vocals for it as well. Zach Chapman worked on the bass, and Nico Vargas worked on the vocals with the hook and the chorus. And as people might notice, there are multiple tracks in this one as well, having Life Flight and the main theme from Brawl.
Yeah.
But one thing that really like clicks everything together here. If we go and listen through or read through the information over on OC Remix about this, this is actually a concoction that was specialized for the Dwelling of Duels, which is also a sort of remix page. For people that don't know about it, it is a community of VGM music where people need to play at least one live instrument, and they make a new theme for each and every month, and then they have a voting and a live stream
about
with all
Dwelling
the
of Duels?
tracks and everything.
That was hosted. Yeah, that's hosted by another friend of the show, friend of yours,
Yeah, Austin.
Austin Green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll laugh at this, by the
He's
way.
from Baltimore, right?
every VGM con I've gone to, I always end up stumbling into the Dwelling of Duels panel just as they're about to eat the bomb hot sauce covering cheese balls. And of course I join in every time.
Yeah, that guy is awesome.
Yeah, he is.
He was a Black Lung Katamari or whatever his name was for a long time. Mm-hmm. He's also, that guy can shred on the guitar.
Oh, he's a beast.
Freaking amazing. So this brings up another thing, tangentially to video game remixes. We have nerdcore rap, right? And so I don't know which came first, nerdcore,
The core.
or the VGM remix. The core, the core came first.
I would say VGM remixes
Probably
before
came
Nerdcore.
first, yeah. And then someone like Mega Ram was like, you know what? I like rap music and I like video games. We're gonna put those two things together.
Well, I'll tell you, the first time I actually
There
heard
it is. There's
nerd-
Nick Offerman. We're gonna put. No, I lost it again.
the first time I heard nerdcore,
Yeah.
it was at PAX 2000. I think it was 2008.
Wow.
And there was an artist named YT Cracker. It was him, and I'm trying to remember the name of the woman who was rapping too. I have to look it up and get
Shamus?
back to it.
Shamus? No, Shamus.
No. Hey, somebody that
I guess that was
actually
before her time. Then, yeah.
it was before all of them. That's the thing. These guys were doing it back then, and that's when I learned that nerdcore was even a thing. But they were great. We were
I was
sitting
much later than that with nerdcore. I was pretty late, but I'm not a fan of the hip hop and R&B kind of style. So that could have been why.
Right.
That's the thing. I'm generally not, but it taps when you do it right. Or
But
I say right, I mean appealing to me, right?
But if I'm driving and I have control of the radio, you have to listen to
Oh,
what
I
I
put
play.
headphones on. I wall that off. But nah, if it's done right in a way that connects to me, it taps into the 80s and 90s vibe that I used to listen to. So at that point, it's my kind of hip hop and my kind of rap. And now suddenly I'm like, okay, this works because they're also rapping about a topic that I appreciate.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's not. Yeah, it's in that style, but the theme is something that you're more not just familiar with.
Like a
but
good
something you're
board
more-
game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Board game rap is on its way. Trust me. All right. So next for me, okay, Pernell, you're gonna like this one.
My man's in trouble. The Pop-O-Matic bubble. Oh, yeah.
You know what? I guess you're gonna be this first one to do the nerdcore board game there.
I'm all out of beep.
This is from Project Justice, again from the Capcom Fighting Collection too. This is Teo High School Rooftop. I always forget how much I love this song. And again, this is arranged. So this is the Capcom sound team. Many people worked on this one. So of course on the official soundtrack, there's no
I guess it's the Project
specific
Justice
people.
version, so it's going to be interesting. I was doing the one from the
the original one. The original one is great, but yeah, the newer the Project Justice is still really good. This is arranged by Sauro Mori for the Capcom Fighting Collection Part 2. I'll tell you,
Is there speed organing?
There it is.
every instrument, it's like, okay, we're only like, maybe 20, 30 seconds into the song, but it's video game music. So immediately go with your hardest guitar solo possible. And the organ, don't just play the organ. You got to do like everything you can. Do the organ drag. It's just,
Your fingertips have to bleed.
I absolutely love this music. This
Bleed
is from
pixels.
Project Justice, Teo High School Rooftop. This is from the Capcom Fighting Collection too, from the Capcom sound team. If you're gonna punch a bunch of school kids, this is what you want to listen to while you're doing it.
If you're going to be an evil school kid, then
Or the
you got
evil
to be
school kid.
Momo
You gotta be Momo
Punch them in church.
in the church with the organs.
with that organ.
Yeah, Justin Wong's been posting a whole bunch of videos and streaming like how good he is at these old games, and he's proven for a fact that Momo is a broken good character.
I was winning matches with her, so that's how I proved she was broken.
She's got these attacks that have ridiculously long range and just stop everybody in their tracks. It's so funny.
I used to exploit the cartwheel she used to do, where she'd roll into with the racket and just spit into people across,
so
jumps the whole board.
This game I don't think ever had an English release. I've only ever played the Japanese versions of it, so I never knew what they were saying. But each part of they're all school kids, and some of them are principals and teachers, but they're all like there's the sports kids, there's the kid who plays baseball, and there's like the guy who swims, and then there's like the
photography kid.
the photography kid, and this and that, and then there's the evil team. And for some reason, this little girl in pink bows, and she has like a racket, she plays tennis, she's part of the evil team,
And she's the best character in the game.
she's the best character in the game. She will rock anybody.
Is she like Gon from Tekken 3, like small to hit and so on?
I think that's what it is. She's small, but like she's got this crazy range because of her tennis racket.
I still remember her coming through. She's like, ling, ling, la, 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 la. It's like, that's how she just skips and hums it when she comes into the
I just remember
ring.
getting really into this game and then going into the story mode and being like, wait, she's on the evil team?
That's right.
Like, what the what?
right.
This game is taking a weird turn.
And like one of her attacks, she throws a tantrum. And she
Yeah, that's right.
runs at
Yeah.
you
She
with
runs
a
and
racket.
cries and just maybe that's what it is.
It's so hilarious,
God.
and she's great.
She's great.
I don't know why when you're talking about the small child like this, I'm starting to think about Arcane Hearts too.
Oh yeah,
you play
that's
that
right.
fighting
Yeah,
game.
yeah. I have. Well, that's
You have
one of
the small
anime
little child
fighters.
that has a crayon like monster with her.
What game is this?
It's called Arcane
Hearts.
Arcana Heart.
Arcana Hearts.
Arcana
Yeah,
Hearts, sorry.
Arcana
Yeah,
Hearts,
that's the funny game where I bought it because I went to a tournament with Rob for like you were playing in a Street Fighter 3 tournament.
Oh,
And-
yeah,
and-
four,
and-
yeah.
And in the side matches they had Arcana Heart 3 running. And I'm watching it like, this game is wild. This is interesting. You know what? If they have a rollerblader, I just randomly said it's like if they had like a rollerblader, I'd buy it today. And the person picked the vampire rollerblading character. Like, well, Jesus Christ! I guess I'm buying this now. Like, it has such a great roster of characters in it.
That was when I was getting really into Street Fighter 4, and I was like, I'm gonna go to a local tournament and then just like try to do my best. And I just casually, I lost 10 games in a row, and the guy was so nice. He was like, "Man, you're the best I've ever seen of this character." And I'm like, "Okay, but still."
Yeah, I don't know. I'd almost feel worse. It's like, you're really good. Like, I'm getting stumped.
10 in a row. It's a little demoralizing, but it didn't stop me from playing a lot more, but still. All right, so
You're the
Pernell.
best Ken character I've ever seen. And that means Ken is that bad?
No, so since there's been 2 Street Fighter games and no one has ever brought back Abel. Abel's my favorite. He is my favorite character.
Ready and able.
And no one seems to care about him. They were like, "Oh yeah, he was boring. He was this little French guy."
You gotta come up with better taunts for him. That's
Yeah, I don't know. He was cool. He was the best.
all. Like I said, it's talking about ready and able.
Ready and Able, yeah.
All right, so my next track, I'm kind of bucking the trend a little bit here because you would think I'd pick something from Yoshi's Crafted World, a game that was released on the Switch. But I ain't bothered playing that game. I just bought it and put it in the box. I did the Pernell thing. But I did play a lot of the game that came before it, which is Yoshi's Woolly World. And I happen to have a great cover of that game that I would like people to listen to. So this comes from 61forte. It is the Yoshi's Woolly World title theme cover, and it is wonderful. Welcome back. You just listened to the theme song from Yoshi's Woolly World, covered by 6140. And as always with this man's products, this is a standout gem of a track. You might be wondering, like, some of the differences in the main track and his track might be subtle. Still excellent, but subtle. But the thing that particularly makes his work stand out is the fact that he lets it be known that he pretty much plays every instrument, or if not the majority of the instruments, that are used in whatever cover he does. And to me, that is talent times sometimes 4, 5, 7, who knows?
Generally all acoustic instruments as well, which is really... And so I feel like his recording area must be really good because it sounds like it's just really nicely recorded. I feel like when I listen to his music, I'm in the same room with him. Yeah, I really like that. It has a lot of space.
It's like the podcast effect, but with cover music.
Yes.
I think I'm at his actual concert.
Well, I mean, like, it just sounds like, it sounds like I'm in this space. It's just nice. It's got a lot of room.
And next up on stage, 6140.
Yeah.
Wow, it's like I'm right there.
So, again, another connection. You're friends with this guy. Yeah. So,
He's a good dude. I've known him for a long time.
Yeah, so some of these people we've met through the show, some people we've met just out and about, some people you saw DJing at a party and you thought you'd introduce yourself.
Yep.
That's what makes it special. It's a nice, tight-knit, fun community. And yeah, I'm not going to sit here and wax as if everyone in this community is absolutely wonderful and perfect, but I've had more exposure by far to wonderful people
Yes, me too.
than the dredges of the Bend. So
Yes.
I'm content with that.
Yes, you can. Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like our show is a magnet of positivity.
That is true.
Which is my intent anyway. All right, so we're back around to Chris. Now this is the part of the show we would normally do the bonus round,
Bonus round.
but
So
maybe
it's the normal round.
but we're going to do a normal round, I think. Yeah.
Consistency.
Yeah. I can't remember if we decided on what we were going to do. If we're going to do additional remixes or original songs, but this is going to be the player's choice, Chris.
So a remix of the remix?
Or the original song. Anyway.
I took this
Yeah,
soda,
yeah.
I put it into a shaker with some pepper, and then I took that one and put it into another shaker with some water.
Just back it. Yeah, it's reverse osmosis on the
Yeah.
video game.
No, but for the bonus round this week, I thought I'm going back to something that really struck a big deal with me from last year. So 2024, I played the game called Ender Lilies: Quietus of the Nights.
Oh.
And from this game, there was this one track that was playing multiple times on repeat as you were moving through the world. But I love and adore this track because, first and foremost, with the world's theme that it has this dark theme on top of it, and you play this small little girl who is connected to a priestess somehow. You don't really know how in the beginning, but you know that you're connected somehow. And you're trying to recover your mind or memories, and as you move around in this dark world, you hear this track, and there's some vocals in it that I really would like everybody to just keep in mind. It feels like this small girl that you're playing is actually the one singing it.
I like that.
So the track name that we're going to listen to is Harmonious, and this is by a band called Millie.
Oh, and we're back.
Yeah, we are back.
Was from Ender Lily's Quietest of the Nights. The track was Harmonious.
Yes.
The artist is Millie. So, yeah, that was definitely a different... You brought to us 3 very different styles of music.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank
I'm
you.
also called the remix master here in Sweden by few.
Really? Well
Yeah.
deserved.
Never really done any remixes myself, but I am a really enthusiast when it comes to finding remix music. And one of the reasons why I kind of got that title was I did a guest show during the summer as the normal VGM podcast were going to have a summer vacation. I was like, is it okay if I take over? And they were like, sure. And I just did a full summer with only remixes. And one of the episodes I actually asked people like, hey, send in a video game that you like and I will find a remix for it. And I got the most weird ass game sent in, and I found a freaking remix for each and every one of them.
What are some of the stranger ones, if you can remember them?
Do you remember any specifics?
What is it called? Is it Torment Plane or Playman Torment or something like that?
Oh,
It's
Plane
like an
of
RPG.
Torment.
Yeah. Torment, Plane. Oh, hold on. The Planes. Torment. Planescape.
Planescape,
Yeah.
that one. So that was one of the weirder one. It was really hard to find something. I really had to dig deep and find something obscure and was connected to some sort of succubus theme for that game.
That has a big fan base. Yeah.
Yeah, but not in remix though.
No.
No, but it is insane. But anyway, the track here with Ender Lilies, it is so beautiful. It really grasps my heart. I even listening to it now and today, I feel emotional, not just because of the game, but because of the track. It is so beautiful. And last year was one of those years when I really dug deep into Metroidvania games. I was like super hooked on them. And Ender Lilies is one of those games that really struck me hard.
So last year was your deep dive into that genre?
Yeah, correct.
Top
I
3.
I have played them.
Top guy here. Top 3. Let's go.
Top 3.
Don't worry,
played
you can
some
change them
of- I-
tomorrow, and no one's
I
going
mean,
to judge you.
I played on so many, and I might be mixing up because, well, Ender Lilies is definitely one of the top ones. I love Gato Roboto. Was a really nice,
Yeah. You play that one a
cute
lot. Yeah.
one. And it's so short, so it's one of those. It doesn't really feel like a Metroidvania since you really don't go back and forth too much, but it is defined as one. And the last one, what was it named? Valde City, if I remember correctly. It's like one of those like anime styled.
Valdez. I think that's the one my friend RC was a big fan of. Like the text is like blue and red or something.
Yeah,
Valdez's story.
Yes.
Valde Store.
I bought it, and then you know the story.
Yeah, exactly. No, but that one was I actually played it a long time ago, and I stopped playing it and tried to return to it, and it was really hard getting back to it. So I just like, I'm starting over.
That is a thing with these styles of exploration style games where either you'll get lost and try to come back and you forget where you were, or you build skills playing the game, and then when you try to come back to it, you have to kind of relearn how to play and build that back up again.
I feel like when the games do it right and have a decent mapping system, though, it makes it a lot easier to make that return.
I think that's important to have. I think some developers may argue that
Prince
They
of
don't
Persia:
wanna
The
walk you through
Lost
it.
Crown did it amazing. Yes,
The map?
with the map and the game in total,
the Lost
it can't
Crown.
go wrong.
I
Yeah,
have that
the
on
new
Switch.
Prince of Persia. If you haven't played it yet, you're really missing out. If you love Hollow Knight and think it's a great game, you're really missing out on Prince of Persia.
I'll have to check that out. I haven't played. I haven't touched Prince of Persia since that one came out for the PS2, where you can rewind time.
The Sands of Time.
Sands of Time.
Sands of Time is also one of my favorite series. I puke on the Forgotten Sands, the 4th game, which is supposed to be in the series. It is so bad. But the rest of the trilogy that I would like to see it as, amazing.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I played that a lot with my wife when that came out. We had so much fun with that. All right, so My last one is going to be no surprise from the Capcom Fighting Collection 1.
Rice Star?
No, not Rice Star. I do love
that
Rice
would
Star.
have been amazing.
That would be, to finish off. No, this is from Hyper Street Fighter 2. This is Cammy's theme from Cap Jams, which is, again, officially licensed Capcom.
How is that
remix.
no surprise? I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, it's Cammy's theme.
Yeah, but you used Abel and Street Fighter 3. And
That's the problem, is that I'm the only person in the world who liked him. The only people who liked him were the competitive players who played him when he was good competitively.
And then in the Street Fighter 3, your favorite character was that Makoto kid.
Yeah, Makoto. Yeah.
So I'm trying to get back to where this Cammy track was the obvious one that we were going to you totally
Well,
picked
for me,
that.
for me, she has my favorite theme in the game. That's my favorite. That's my favorite game. As much as I love Makoto and Abel, their tracks weren't the best. So, sorry guys. All right, so we got so this is Cammy's theme from Cap Jams, a See You in Nishigaki, arranged by Kodai Ikeda for the Capcom Fighting Collection. And we're back. That was Cammy's theme from Hyper Street Fighter 2, composed by Seiyun Nishigaki originally, and then arranged by Kodai Ikeda for the Capcom Fighting Collection. Pernell, obviously.
so obvious. By any means, from any angle you view this, that's the track he was going to pick.
It's true. It's
Any
true.
angle.
I talk about Rystar as much as possible to people who
Capcom's Rystar.
never owned a Sega Mega Drive or Genesis, and I'm just saying, you should play this game. You should listen to the soundtrack.
I've seen Rob go to the bar, drunk as a lemur, talking to
No.
the bartender, going, "You know what they need? You know what they need? They need a Rystar themed drink. They need a drink
They're never
that tastes
gonna
like a
give
shooting
me
star."
You're never
that
going to give me
talks.
a Rystar. You're the shooting star. And then I'm escorted out.
Sir, I think you've
They
had
call
it.
they
No.
call me a taxi, and then no, of course not.
Have you bought your child a onesie with Rystar on?
Oh no, that's a
How's
good
that
idea.
not happened yet?
So I think I can order some kid-sized clothes, and I think that's what he's going to start wearing from now on is video game music themed shirts.
Exactly. As long as Rystar,
Rystar,
can,
baby.
apparently.
I should make a Rystar one. Yeah. No, he's out of the onesies now. He's firmly in the toddler area. He's a lot. It's a lot of fun now.
So a t-shirt it is.
T-shirt, yeah. Actually, he wears. I have a Wu-Tang shirt. He wears a lot.
There's a Rystar
Prince. I like putting him in band shirts.
Wu-Tang did something on Rystar? That's weird.
I think that's the mashup we need.
The Rystar
Pernell, you're so good at this. You just need
Am
to,
I? I mean, I usually do like two lines, and I'm like up, tapped out.
You need to, but you need to be recording this, and then like wake up the next day and be like, oh, I had a great idea last night. Like, oh, what was I doing?
I did it one time. I told you about that. I got paid for it too, but it was all for jokes. So, and I don't have any of those anymore because I sold them to the person who has them, or probably threw them out. I used to write country songs, and I would record them, and I
You
sold
did
it
tell
to
me
a
about that.
coworker.
That's right. Yeah, you wrote country music.
Yep, sold it to the guy. I was like, I don't know why you like this so much, but give me my money.
Have you seen the Key and Peele sketch where they talk about country music?
No.
So the guy's like, "Hey man, come on down. I set up like a little thing in the basement where I can play guitar." And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And so Jordan Peele's sitting there. He's like, "Yeah, I'm not really into country music, but go ahead and play me a song." And so he plays him like the most racist song in the world. And he's like,
yeah,
"Wait. That's terrible, right? That's racist." He's like, "No, it's country music. This is where we're from, right?" It's just like it's so over the top, like obvious. It's very, very funny. Anyway, yeah, let's make fun of racist country music.
Well, that kind of it.
That kind, yeah.
That
But
kind,
it was very, very good. I was going off on a tangent. Realized we were recording here. Pernell,
No, you gave me an idea for an end remember, so I'll take that.
and remember. Yeah. All right. So Pernell, what is your final track?
So, I mean, you've all known me for a long time, so it's pretty freaking obvious what this last track
Well, hold
is
on.
going to
Let me guess. It's Matoy Sakuraba.
be. Oh, Rod.
Falcom.
You don't know me at all, man. This is clearly a piano cover from Alwa's Awakening.
Okay.
I mean, geez, everyone knows that that's the choice. Obviously, stop teasing you.
But it's Alwa's.
Alwa's Awakening, a piano cover to Central Awa. And this was done by Rigor Mortis 999.
Okay. I love the YouTube names.
That's the best kind.
It's the most beautiful, heart-wrenching piano cover from
plays
Rigor Mortis.
He plays death piano.
It's a Dungeons and Dragons like.
Yeah, I think that works. That works for me. That works for me.
Oh man, it's a Farkle like. This is from. You're listening to the piano cover from the Central Alwa area of the game Alwa's Awakening, covered by Rigor Mortis 999, which thankfully Christopher has actually spoken to in person. He has better details.
Yeah, so the original composer for this is Robert Krese, is his name, and he lives in Gothenburg, and he's the original composer for this for the game. And he actually, when he made this game, he actually worked and utilized original trackers, the Fema tracker, in order to create the music. So the music was able to be played on an original NES hardware in that sense. Mm-hmm. But it's so much interest since while we were listening, we were talking a little bit about the cartridge as well. And the cartridge was not created by the same company that made the game itself. So it was another company that made a demake that was actually working and fitting onto the cartridge of a NES game.
And I do love that. 'Cause, like, I didn't know, I was saying earlier, I didn't know it existed until a friend of mine was like, hey, you want to check this card out? I'm like, wait, there's an actual NES card version of that game? Because this is like one of my favorite, retro, air quotes, retro releases in the last few years. I guess at this point it's maybe closer to like 8 years or so, but still.
Yeah.
And I will sing its praises and its sequels praise to anybody that'll listen to it.
Next to that other one, that's that MSX style one.
La Mulana?
La Mulana.
Oh, that's my baby.
Yeah, that's your baby.
And then Pompous and Celine. That's another one I'm a big fan of.
It did some reference to, was it Ariete or something like that? A game that was supposed to look like the old Zelda games on CDI Philips CDI.
Oh,
All right,
wow.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm trying to remember the remainder of the title. But the main character has red hair.
Yeah, red, pinkish.
Arietty.
Yeah. Right now I'm getting the Studio Ghibli Ariete.
Yeah, when you said that, that's the only thing I could think of. You know, we may find this one later. That's all right though. Yeah, Secret World Variety. Anyway, for more information on our show and on all of the artists, please go to our website, rhythmandpixels.com. We'll have links to all of these artists, YouTube's, Bandcamps, everywhere you can go, listen to and buy the music and support these fantastic artists. All right, thank you everybody for joining us on episode 38-8 of Rhythm and Pixels. This is the entire all bonus rounds. Just all bonus. All bonus rounds.
All bonus.
Featuring the voice of Chris Shenstrom.
There it is.
Hey.
Arietta of Spirits.
Arietta of Spirits. Pernell was still looking up that game.
I wasn't quitting. So I thought it was Arietti, but it's Arietta.
Thank you very much for spending your evening and morning with us. I see.
No worries.
Your room is getting brighter and brighter.
Yeah. We've been going through the all night. It was dark when we started this. Now it's light.
Yeah,
that's how you know this man is dedicated to the cause, and we appreciate you coming on to hang out with us.
That was the exact same reason I had to reschedule. I could not hang, but you're here with us. So, thank you so much. Tell our listeners where can they find Gameable audio.
Well, finding Gameable Audio is a little bit easier right now. I actually bought the address, so gameableaudio.com/podcast is the easiest way to get to the links where you can find the podcast. But just searching for Gameable Audio on social media and so on will help you find it. And I utilize every place where you can find a podcast.
Yeah, you kind of have to, because they're all over the place. So, but yes, if you're listening to the show and you're looking for more great video game music, if you're looking for information on composers and all that stuff, go to Gameable Audio. Chris is a fantastic host, an interviewer.
And Baker.
And if you would like to get in contact with our show, if you would like to say hi, or if you are yourself a composer or a remixer of video game music, we would love to.
If you're someone else,
or if you're anybody else, if you're their dad, we would love to hear from you. Please send
Dad, is that you?
We're still looking for you. Please send us an email. Please send us an email at our email address, which is
rhythmandpixels@hotmail.com.
and for a full track listing of this episode and access to all of our previous episodes, a lot of them which aren't on the main feed, you'll have to go and find them on our website. Our website is
www.rhythmandpixels.com.
Yes, we do own the main domain there, so you can just go to rhythmandpixels.com.
www.
You can work out that finger on the W on your keyboard. It ain't going to stop you. Also, on that website, you have links to our Discord page. Also, links to cool merch. We are on. We have lots of designs on TeePublic. I'm always making new designs and hoping they don't get taken down of like retro games and things like that. I just purchased a few of them. I might make some changes. I have one. The dueling ninjas from Ninja Gaiden. I made a big logo on the front of that, but I made it way too big, and it's kind of ridiculous looking. So check that out. If you want to support the show, the best thing you can do is tell people about it. Tell your friends, tell your family, annoy everybody in the car that you're in.
Carve the logo into the moon.
You can also go to Patreon.
Or a tree.
Or easier to do a tree. Yes, please do the tree.
I'll leave the trees alone. We've done enough. I think as a species, we've done enough to the trees. You can go to patreon.com/rhythmandpixels, and there you can help support the show. It helps just keep the hosting costs going. We use Blueberry for hosting. They're very fast. They're very helpful. They're great support. The recording software and all of our file hosting. We use a lot of bits of OneDrive and everything for our radio station. So it really helps. It goes a long, long way. And for those of us who support us at the highest tiers, we have cool stuff. There's stickers, T-shirts. I know Chris likes that. I saw a picture of you wearing one of our shirts, which is really cool. So you get all that cool stuff there. We also like to thank every one of you at the end of our show at the highest tier. So first, thank you, Chris, number one. On the list. Yeah, get the finger guns from Chris. Thank you very much for supporting us and coming on our show.
It's definitely worth it.
Thank you to Corey Clark and Khalid over there in Germany. Thank you so much for supporting us on our podcast.
Thank you, friend.
And also for all of your wonderful emails that you sent us. Very nice. I want to thank you to Kristen, GameFan44, Alf Person, Antmaster, Brian Pitt, Cameron Werma, Carlos Kung Fu Carlito, host of the Heroes 3 podcast, Chris Weisner, a.k.a. Musashi219. Check out The Wise Guy on our last episode. Fantastic guest to have on the show. David Good, David Taylor, and Charlotta Brigol, Harold Howard, Jamie, and the Triple Jeff, Try Jeff, Justin Schneider, host of XVGM Radio. I'll be seeing you this weekend. Kitty Sparks, Leslie Martyris, host of the VGM podcast, Rage Cage, Reinhard Selkova, Steve Miller, Taco, and Zach Thornbach. Thank you all so much for supporting our show. And many, many more. So thank you so much. That's all I've got. I think I mentioned the YouTube station. All of our episodes are up there, along with a radio station that plays 24/7 video game music. Chris, do you have anything else that you wanted to plug? Anything else that you're working on, or anything you want to share?
No, I'm just making a backlog with more interesting guests. So just to plug that, I today when we recorded this, I also recorded another podcast for my podcast, Gameable Audio, together with Nathan Ross, who made the soundtrack for Paper Clay, which is released not so long ago.
I just bought it.
Awesome. Which is also a Swedish developer called Kevin Andersson.
Have you noticed I like Swedish developers?
Yeah. Do you want me to recommend a few more, or is that?
I'm not even kidding. By all means, please do. I'll take them. Just send them in the text or something, like to the Discord. I'll be all about that.
Well, and then also I have done another episode together with the composers from Landfall, another Swedish studio that made Haste: Broken Worlds.
Okay. Oh, I have that too.
Yeah.
It's a 3D
then you're all
Sonic
set.
game. I'm running.
Yeah.
All right, so I do need to turn in. I'm sure, Chris, that you're probably just getting ready to start your next day. So
yeah, I'm signing out. I'm already awake, boys.
Get some coffee
Let's
going.
go. I don't even drink coffee.
I hope you at least slept before the show started.
Nope.
Oh, God. 48-hour day.
All right,
I've been up right now almost 22 hours.
yeah,
My friend, we appreciate you
Can't do that. Yeah,
hanging out with us.
Chris, thank you very, very much for coming on the show again.
Thank you for
Spending
having
your
me.
time and supporting us and everything. So thank you. The name of the show is Rhythm and Pixels. My name is Rob Nichols.
And I'm Pernell.
Have a great week. We'll see you next time.
And remember, genres, we picked on them. We mock them sometimes. But the truth of the matter is, I've lived with this mantra my entire life. There's something for everybody in literally every genre. We were ribbing on mumble rap. I bet there's a mumble rap track out there I just haven't heard yet that will blow my socks off. Never pigeonhole yourself into a bubble of just allowing your genre choices to pigeonhole you into avoiding other stuff. Genres are just a good opportunity and way to find things that are similar to what you like. They don't mean you won't like anything there. But yeah, just be willing and able and open to try new things musically, culinarily. I made that word up. Can you tell? But yeah, just be willing to experiment and explore and try new things and all those things, because you never know what might surprise you.